G'day and welcome to another big edition of the FNL Netball Show, and we're looking into the finals action thanks to the Athletic Club Brewery. My name's Yeendy. I'm joined by Kim Bailey, and look, first week of finals is done and dusted, and I think we saw a few great games that are shaping up the final series.
Yeah, really no big surprises, sort of what we thought. So I think there's a couple of good games coming up this weekend, though. This is really getting to the pointy end now, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few upsets this week. We'll see how we go.
Certainly shaping up to be that way, fingers crossed. From a competition perspective, and the first game we'll look at is the qualifying final between Redan and the Sunbury Lions, and the top two sides in the competition. This ended up, it was a bit of a blowout at first, but then I think the margin sort of flattered the
Sunbury went in quarter time with 6-goal lead and really didn't look back after that. They just held steady after that, and that's all you have to do. You know, you break teams open in the first quarter, then they've got to hunt you down. So I think Redan only won the last quarter by 3, and Sunbury just Chloe Curran was 26 from 29. At 90%, and I think this is the big stat that's really interesting. Ruthie Smith, 22 from 30 at 74. Most probably one of the best games we've seen Ruth play this year, because she was in the game and she shared the shooting load. If you look over at Redan's, we had Liv Jorgensen shooting 31, which is fantastic for such a young girl, and Ruby Parry only shooting 10. Again, for such a young girl, it's so much pressure to put her on to get her to shoot the majority of the goals. So I know she's a tall target, but I just think Ruby needs to get more involved and shoot more goals. Mm-hmm. We've spoke about this before as a goal attack. You're there as an assister as well, but your job says goal attack. Yeah, means you shoot goals.
How often though do you see goal attack scoring more short goals than the goal shooters?
Look, depending on the teams, let's face it, some VNL teams and some Suncourt Super Netball teams, their goal attack is sometimes the main player. But, it's still, I think 10 goals is not enough to win games. Yep. Where I think that's the big difference. That workload is not just lugged on Chloe; it's put on Ruth as well.
Well, Ruth had more scoring shots.
Yeah, she did, and one more. But it's just a lot for Liv. I think she might be 17. I'm not quite sure, but she's still an under 19s player. It's a lot of pressure to put on her. Look, and she did a really great job, 31 from 44 at 71%. So, but Ash Hardy has had a sensational season, and that shooting stat might be a little bit of the job of Ash did a closing down Ruby. So they played on each other. So she had a really game. And look, Monique Clark's been playing great as well, and real hard player for Olivia, such a young girl to play on. But she did a fantastic job. Cassie Peace was great too, but for Redan. But I think that's the main difference. I think that shooting stats, 82% all up for 67, and the wind was up, but we've spoke about Sunbury. They're a pretty experienced team, aren't they? They've lost a game all season. Redan will be disappointed because I think they lost the first game by 2 or 3, and then they drew the next one, and they would have thought they were in with a big chance with this, but they'll bounce back. Still the first final, and they're really experienced. Look at their lineup, Emma Henry and Erin Riley in defence, and Sage Bros, Cassie Peace. But, you look at Sunbury and it's just as good. We've got Taryn Munro sitting there. Ellie Randalls didn't play on the weekend, so that's another big girl, a big player that you can bring in too. So they're looking pretty good. Yeah,
certainly are, and fortunately for Redan, the only team that can lost on the weekend that gets another chance. North Ballarat City had a comfortable win over Lake Windaree, 62-35, to walk into the second semi-final.
Yeah, we spoke about this. I just said I think that North is just hitting their straps at the right time of the season, and this just proves it. Big game to
10
win.
goals up at quarter time, as you've highlighted. You blow the game open in that first quarter, that's it.
But just look, blow it open in the first quarter, and then look what they did in the last. They had a 20-goal last quarter, so compared to a 9-goal, and they just kept going, and that's what good teams do. They can just keep going the whole time. And look, Sash McDonald and Laura McDonald up either end of the court. It's been a bit of a change, and he's changed up that defensive line a little bit. Normally we have Sarah Milton in there with Emma Church, but she's actually dropped Laura back into goalkeeper. And I think that lineup, that matchup on Chloe Curran this week, that will be really, really, really interesting, and most probably going to be the key to the game. But Sash had a great game. And we're talking about young kids. Look at Maddie Salmon, I think she's still playing under 17s. Yeah. 13 from 13 in the last, and how much pressure did Callie Berry put on her? Not quite sure. But what do you say? She shot, what's her shooting percentages? 89%, which is sensational. And Sasha on 24 goals. So these girls are still both under 19s players.
Yeah.
But again, load's been shed. And for Lakers, Chrissy James shot 8 goals for the whole game, and Sarah Hepburn had most of the pressure on her, and she shot 27 at 70%. So, yeah, North are looking pretty good.
Yep, exactly right. The right time of year, and their probably last month has been quite flawless. So the other game, East Point 49 defeating Sebastopol 44. That dream run from Sebast has come to an end, but East Point, the reigning premiers, have got another chance.
And I think that's what we forget. They are the reigning premiers. They've had a bit of a turnaround in playing personnel, but the goal and combination's still there. Emma Farrell just keeps getting better and better. 29 from 33 at 88%, and Loz Dew 20 from 32. Again, sharing the load, and had great games. Kate Martin in the mid-court, she's been sensational this year. Look, it's been a good year for Sebast. They'd be disappointed. I'm sure Georgia and the girls would be disappointed. Adriana Kane had another great game. She's had a really good last few weeks, been really strong right through. It's a shame they just couldn't get it, but I think there's some girls like Beth Smith has been playing so well this year, and so has Claire Blanchfield. Those girls have just coming together. They're not overly tall, but they're fast and they're skillful. And I think it'll be a great game versus Redan this week. Yeah,
definitely right. It's certainly going to be a cracker. And that's the first game we'll talk about as we look ahead to this weekend's big games. And we'll cross to the first semi-final at Eastern Oval on Sunday. Redan and East Point. We've got the reigning premiers up against the team that finished second on the ladder, which a team that would probably be disappointed with last week's performance. So fair to say against the Sunbury Lions, but. This is going to produce an interesting scenario because Redan have been the only team in the competition to challenge the Sunbury Lions all year up against the reigning premiers, and they're going to have that experience at East Point.
I think this was a draw the last time. I think they've only played each other once and it was a draw.
Yeah.
So it'll be a fantastic game. They match up really, really well. Emma Henry on Lauren Dew will be a great contest, and Erin Riley on Emma Farrell. Emma's really smart. She's such a smart player, and she brings that composure into their circle. And that's what I'm not going to say older, but a mature player does. They're that settling influence, and I said Claire Blanchfield has just been that linkage coming out of the defensive line. So, going to be really interesting. How much pressure they're going to apply to Liv, we said, and Ruby needs to most probably step up and take some of that pressure off her. And I think Ruby will. She's a great player. We know she will. Sage Brosser and Cassie Pearce is most probably, they're most probably the best attacking line, I think, out there.
Yep.
It's going to be a really interesting game. It could go either way, I think. Gee whiz. Go on, Chris, you go first.
I'm just going to bank on experience. East Point, they know how to win close games in finals. They've shown that over the last couple of seasons, and I don't think this week will be any different.
Yeah, look, I'm really torn with this one. It's that sitting on that fence, that draw most probably. I'm just going to split it with you, mate. That's what I'm going to do. Yep. I'm going to go Redan, but with no confidence. This will be a great game, I think. So wouldn't be surprised which one. I think if Redan don't win, I think it's a disappointing way to go out in straight sets. And Kate is such a seasoned coach. She knows that, and she'll have these girls up and about.
Yeah, she certainly will. And we'll jump back in time to the second semi-final where Sunbury will take on North Ballarat City, and I have a feeling the way our tips are going to go, and if my tips, if I get 2 from 2 this weekend, the preliminary final is going to be an absolute cracker. But Sunbury Lions and North Ballarat City.
Yeah, North have just hit their straps at the right time. They've just been awesome, and it's hard to back against Sunbury. They haven't lost a game all season, isn't it? And, with someone like Chloe sitting underneath the post, how they stop her. But Laura McDonald could be the girl to do that. And it really depends on the circle edge feeds. I think they have to get that feed into the right spot. There's no point in trying to feed it from just over the transverse line or mid-court, because these defenders are good enough just to sweep across and take that intercept. So pressure will be on Taryn Munro and Alia Pera, but they're up to the challenge, I think.
They're used to it.
Yeah. And interesting, the pressure that Ash Hardy and Monique Clarkin and put on the two young kids up in the circle. This one could go either way, and you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if North win, but it's hard to back against Sunbury. I'm going to have to go Sunbury.
Yeah, I'm going to go Sunbury Lions to set up a rematch of last year's grand final. Have East Point in my tips. East Point to take on North Ballarat City in a preliminary
Is that
final.
you're going?
That's the way I'm
You've
just
picked
feeling
Sunbury,
it.
haven't you?
So Sunbury go through to the grand final. So North Ballarat City, they lose.
Prelim,
so they
rightio.
lose and they take on East Point, and I think it would be fitting to have last year's grand finalists battle out in a rip-roaring preliminary final for a spot in the big
Chris,
dance.
I don't think my heart can take that again.
Double extra
That
time.
was unbelievable. That was one of the best games in the BFL we've ever seen, and if we can get anywhere near that for any of our last few games, I'll be wrapped and have the crowd there. But yeah, we've had great crowds so far, and yeah, I think it'll be a ripper weekend.
Yeah, it's shaping up to be fantastic, and I'll put a mention out there for those who are interested in getting to the Henderson Medal. It's not until the 18th, but I'll be stressing out the clubs out there. Get your numbers sorted, and please flick through an email to me, chris@aflgoldfields.com.au. Get your numbers through. We don't want you to miss out, because if the finals are going to be outstanding, well, the Henderson Medal night is going to be an absolute ripper with all the results.
Yeah, great night down east this year, down at Tabcourt Park. So yeah, get along. It's always a good night to get everyone celebrating our footy and netball league.
Should be fantastic. Thanks so much for joining us, Kim, and thanks to the Athletic Club Brewery for all their support during the FNL Finals. And we look forward to catching up with you next week as we talk up a preliminary final.